Okay, welcome downtown Portland, week 119, Justice for Qadira.
Good morning, Portland.
Good morning. We did go to our first court hearing. We've been cited 3 times criminally for doing this.
Folks, I just want to let you know that your public dollars are being wasted, okay?
Right.
These people, they're spending money on having the police come down here and harass us when the DA is not even filing any complaints.
Yeah, so we got
So
up.
what is that?
We got up really early this morning. We went down to court, and yeah, it's just total harassment. We were basically given a piece of paper that says no criminal charges have been filed because everybody here knows that we're not committing a crime.
But they are paying your police to come down here and harass us.
So that's what the Nazis did, and I'm very sorry that people are so attached to their paychecks, and I get it, people need them, but they can be coerced to do some really terrible things. Now, before I forget, because I'm going to be doing this every Friday from now on, as we are all aware, the black community in Portland is really suffering genocide, and I have deep concerns about how they are being handled by the Portland Police Bureau. Justice for Qadira is calling for Pastor J.W. Matt Hennessy to please cuff himself, take himself down to the station and turn himself in. We have been routed to J.W. Matt Hennessy many times, and the fact is he's a child rapist. So I don't appreciate having been sent to him. I just found this out. He was accused in 1993 by a family member of rape. He admitted to it. He was a Nike executive at the time, and he wasn't just absolved of all charges. He was never charged. And, he has access to a lot of kids, and not just people like us have been routed to Hennessy, but this is where they're routing the gang members. This is where black people in this community are being sent for spiritual sustenance. They bring Hennessy out. You've probably seen him on the TV before, lecturing the community on, how to behave better. This man needs to go do his time, and I'm going to say that every Friday because I'm really upset that I spent any time in a room with him. He never did anything to help our family or our daughter, and I just don't appreciate being sent to go talk to an actual pedophile about my daughter being abused. So I hope the police don't come down here today because I'll be asking them about them because this is their police liaison. So when we're talking about gun violence, especially in the black community, we have better role models. And we need to get them out, and we need to start using them, and we need to start demanding that people like J.W. Matt Hennessy step down, okay? So I'm not just calling out the white pedophiles. I'll call out the black ones. I'll call out all the pedophiles. In my opinion, if you've hurt a child like that, you really need to cuff yourself, take responsibility, cuff yourself, take yourself down to the police station, turn yourself in, and do your time. Because if you wait to meet God, well, you're not going to meet God because you're not going to be able to face God, okay? So if you wait till death, you're definitely going to hell, not because anybody sent you there, but because that's the only direction you're going to be able to go. So that's some free advice. That's what I suggest Hennessy do. I absolutely do not want any violence against anybody. What I want is for people to start taking responsibility for themselves. And that moves me on to the trans community. I'm just going to say this out loud right now. Don't get involved in a trans day of rage. They are really, 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 really trying to rope everybody into violence right now because this is how they exert the moral authority. And we need to do a better job. Everybody who can hear me right now, we all need to do a better job getting along because, when they are going around and inciting violence, and I'm talking about your public officials, the more violence they can incite, the more people they can sweep up and put into jail and
basically get rid of folks.
Yeah, they're just trying to get rid of people, and they're trying to get rid of people because the wealthy elites, America's just their new mansion, okay? They just want everybody gone. They have no concept of what it means to really live in a civilization because they're not doing that anymore. So that's something else I wanted to just say briefly today is we need to...
Before she goes on to that, okay. I also want to say, hey, for the folks that Trump is calling on for his supporters, please don't get involved. Okay?
Don't get involved. That's a reality TV star. I know you guys think that something else is going on there, but this is what they want. They want violence. Thank you, baby, for mentioning that. They want every community involved in violence, and we don't need to be doing that.
We need to be responsible right now.
That's right.
Our so-called leaders, they're not being responsible. They are not being accountable. These people are trying to kill everybody.
And you know, they just want to control. I mean, now I'm hearing that, you know, they're going to decide whether I can look at TikTok. We're all adults. And I think this whole government thing has gotten way out of hand. I mean, once somebody reaches the age of consent, the whole point of becoming an adult is so you can go out and make some free will decisions and live your life. You know, you're not supposed to have somebody lording over you your entire life. You know, after we reach adulthood in our society, we have more rules than ever handed down to us by people who don't care about us at all. So,
and folks, I just want to say, you do not have to listen to anyone who does not care about you.
That's something we all need to start understanding because, as we can all see, you know, globally we are living in a hellhole, and there's a reason for that. There's people running hell, you know, in every country right now. And one of the big reasons, one of the things that they've tricked us all with is the definition of success. I was thinking about this yesterday. A lot of people think that me and my husband are not successful because we don't make any money doing this. But I think we are very successful. We've been together for 28 years. We've raised 4 children. We own a home. We're standing here peacefully fighting for our rights. And I believe that the most successful people on this planet today, that's the middle class. And I'm sorry that we're shrinking it because it's what we need to be expanding.
And why is the middle class the most successful? Because they are the most social, okay? Society is made for people to socialize. And the wealthy elites, the people that are running everything, these people they have distanced themselves from society. They don't know what's going on here. They don't know. They don't socialize.
They're very disconnected.
Regular people.
Also, I just want to say that I think it's really inappropriate for somebody to hoard, you know, piles and piles of cash. We recognize hoarding as a mental illness until people start doing it with money, and then we start worshiping them. Anybody that's got an obscenely full bank account is essentially a demon. That's how you can actually identify the demons. Okay, thank you. Because they're the ones that are really sick. Because when you hoard cash, you make it so other people cannot live, okay? So there's never any reason for anybody to be hoarding obscene amounts of cash. I have no problem with people living nice lives. I think people should live nice lives. But we've made, you know, this very unattainable goal. I mean, people can't all be billionaires, but everybody here on the planet could very easily live a middle-class life. You know, and that's something that you can actually create a pathway to for people. Whereas becoming a billionaire, why do you want to become sick? Why do you want to become sick? We have sick people running our society. We have sick people like Bill Gates. Oh boy, does he ever need to cuff himself and take himself to prison, doesn't he? The man is crazy. Of course, you are going to think everything is running out when you need obscene amounts of everything. You know, I don't want to hear from these people until they've pared down their lives to something reasonable. You know, give it away. You're not supposed to hang on to stuff like that. I'm not saying go live in a shack. Like I said, I think the middle class people, they're the ones that are getting it right. And that's what everybody should be able to achieve here. You know, and it shouldn't be that complicated. They've made it very complicated because these people, they're not capitalists. Whenever you see a concentration of wealth or resources, you have either a socialist or a communist. People don't understand capitalism. The money is supposed to be moving. It's the middle class. They're the capitalists. The small business owners, that's a capitalist. Anybody that is hoarding in these extreme ways, that's not a capitalist. Like, I have no problem with a small business owner who's employing people living, you know, a little bit nicer maybe than his employees, but you don't go live like in some 60,000 square foot mansion. I mean, that's what Bill Gates is. He's a demon. He will be going to hell. He doesn't know it. Well, he maybe does. Maybe he does know it, which is why they're trying to create these ways so they can be here for forever. Not going to happen, okay? You're going to die. So sorry, but that's just how this works.
I just want to tell you, folks, you were meant to move on from here, okay? This isn't your last existence. You were meant to move on from here. Don't get trapped in preschool, okay? Because this is what this experience is. This is where you start to begin your journey to spiritual adulthood. Okay,
right.
That's the material existence.
The problem we're having on planet Earth is nobody gets to be an adult anymore because we are really, really under the tyranny of all these governments, not just our government. I mean, in my opinion, I really think we should just have diplomats for foreign affairs, and there really shouldn't be wars, you know. But if you want to personally, you know, give your money to the military or give your money to certain little things, I mean, as an adult, we should just let adults decide what they're doing with their money. All these taxes and stuff that they just keep wasting, it's beyond the pale at this point. I don't understand these people. They lose trillions of dollars. They never clean anything up. They're totally and completely irresponsible. You try to make responsible suggestions. They won't even let you come to the table. So let's just admit it. We really are under this demonic rule. And because people get paychecks, they act like this gentleman that's walking in front of me with his ears plugged. Okay, so we need to come up with...
we have to be loud. Sorry, sir. We have to be loud. This is a protest.
Not only that, we have to be loud because the media is owned by these demons, unfortunately. And I'm calling them demons because when you amass the kind of wealth these people have, and then the people who are in government who bow down to these people, and all these media figures, liberal and conservative, they're all frauds. You know, you're not well. It's an indication that you're not well. Somebody who is healthy, well, and balanced will not hoard like that. Anything. Like I said, it's amazing to me. We literally have a show called Hoarders, and if you hoard anything else, it's a problem. So, and it is a problem what the elites are doing because, you know, they just need so much. Nobody can live here anymore. And the fact of the matter is this planet is for people. Me and my husband, you know, for the last 16 years, we've been harassed by the government because, you know, our daughter was attacked by these pedophiles. And this pedophilia, you guys, it has to stop. So, fair warning to the pedophiles. The punishment is there, whether you get away with your crime or not. I just want to let you know, and I want everybody here to know that you don't get away with this stuff. Like, every day, and it's almost every day, I drive past the people's house who abused my daughter, and I just tell myself that they are on vacation, because that's all they're on. It's just a vacation. They haven't been punished here yet. And they may not be. I may not be able to get that done, but I fully believe that they will be punished later because that's just how it works. You just don't get away with stuff. You think you're getting away with stuff because you've made agreements with these demons here that will protect you, but they're demons, okay?
And they cannot protect you.
And they can't protect you because this might be their world here, but this is God's planet, okay? So, I mean, I would really like to see more people who are pedophiles just turning themselves in. That's what y'all need to do. And that's what J.W. Matt Hennessy needs to do. That's what Todd Burkholder and Amy McQuiston need to do. That's what a lot of these people need to do. I mean, the list is so long, you can't identify them all. Unfortunately, there's a serious quest by some very sick individuals to just make sex with kids legal, and that's why I really believe they rolled back the age of consent. It wasn't really in the medical community. It wasn't to help children with any kind of care, whether it be an abortion or gender dysphoria or any of that. That's not to help anybody.
Now they're just experimenting on children.
Yeah, it's just because they're assholes, okay? You know, and they're manipulating these kids, and they're saying, oh, we're doing it because we care about you. Kids cannot consent. So that's my line in the sand. None of this stuff should be being done to kids. I mean, when you grow up, you reach the age of consent. The decisions you make are the decisions you make. I don't necessarily think, I'm not a fan of any kind of surgery, quite frankly. I think surgeries are just not a good idea. But if you absolutely have to, you have to do that as an adult. 18 years old. And that's just the deal, everybody. Another thing I wanted to put out there, because people say we can't talk about this stuff in Portland, and I'm going to talk about it in Portland because the rhetoric I see has just become so toxic. I just had a whole run-in with this Posey Parker. She's this activist in the UK who, goes around basically advocating for...
She pretends
for
that
what?
she is advocating for women.
She pretends she's advocating for
But
women.
actually, she's a neo-Nazi, folks.
She's completely blocked me. She's a complete... I reached out to her because we're being buried over here. So I thought maybe she could give me one tweet. She is a Nazi, so the trans community is absolutely correct about that, and she goes around fomenting violence, which is really unfortunate, because she's co-opted this entire conversation about safe spaces for people. I have a completely different take on the matter. I believe we need to build transgender spaces because that's what I think the trans community needs, because I think they need to build some camaraderie amongst themselves, and I noticed that trans men and trans women don't have spaces to go. So I think that transgender facilities need to be built to be kind, really, because that's what we did for women when women left the house. We built spaces for them to actually be. I also hope the trans community will hear me on one other thing. I think it's vitally important that we here in America and in the UK, places that are experimenting with this, we need to put on a really, really, really good presentation for countries like China, Africa, the Muslim countries, where
Russia,
where, these people are just going to be killed, and they're being killed, because all the arguing over here just makes everything look bad. So I'd like to make some suggestions to calm that all down. I've had multiple Posey followers blocking me and stuff, and Posey doesn't owe you anything. Posey doesn't owe anybody anything. You know what I'm saying? She's standing for
herself.
She's standing for herself and white women and racists, and she's fomenting this hate, and so she's making it so we can't even make this look good. Okay, so I do feel that the trans community is in danger because of that. It's nasty rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? And we're not having like a good conversation. We're not making this look good, and I think there's a better way to go about all of this. I think there's a better way to go about a lot of things. So I just wanted to say that, just because it's become a whole thing, because I've kind of been on Twitter lately, and I'm running into people from the UK who are getting very mad at me for even mentioning that Posey blocked me, because she called me nobody. She said I'm nobody. But the only reason I even tried to contact her is because she put out a video on Portland boo-hooing, claiming that everybody here, all the trans activists are violent, and she's going to be murdered in the street. And, maybe with her attitude, I don't know. I'm looking at her more now. The minute she treated me like crap, it was like, okay, lady, I got your number. So I just wanted to say that. I don't like her also going around saying that Portland is a place that women can't speak and it can't be done, and we can't figure any of this out, because she's a liar, okay? And that's not true. So anyway, because we're doing it, you guys, we're doing it, and I know it's not perfect, and I know a lot of people are standing back from this protest, but we can get it done. And Portland can be an example of what this all could really look like when we're all getting along, if our public officials would get out of the dang way, because they're just making everything bad. Folks, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, folks, we need to start caring about people, not about money, okay? If we don't start changing the conversation about what really needs to be going on here, and if caring for people is not what we're going to be interested in doing, then society is over, okay? Because society, civilization, like my wife said before, is for people. It's not for anything else, okay?
Right, and people should be able to live here, and the billionaires have just made that impossible, because every single person, every attorney, every public official, every police officer, they're just sitting in these people's back pockets, and then they go around and they harass everybody. So look at what we're all living in. We're living in a filthy hellhole because they created a filthy hellhole, and they're not even trying to help us create a pathway out because
they have no incentive to create a healthy pathway out of it because they are making plenty of money on the problems that they've created. Why would they fix any of the problems? The homeless problem is getting worse even after we spent $2 billion on it. Okay, it's getting worse because they keep making money.
And it's because they don't really care. I just want to say over the last 28 years since me and my husband have been together, we've housed 15 homeless family and friends. That's what people don't know about us because we never get to get a word in edgewise. But I will tell you, somebody coming in off the street, they need a lot of time, attention, and care because they have been traumatized and abused. So that is why I've been suggesting over and over, individualized care plans and caregivers for people who have been put in this situation, and then they're going to need a lot of support in the first few months. I've helped people get back on their feet, but it takes time, and you have to be there. You have to physically be there. So a lot of people are suffering from, loneliness and hurt, and, so everybody's complaining, oh, they're all drug addicts, they're all drunks. Well, what would you be doing if you'd been thrown on the corner like a pile of trash? You'd be doing the same thing, There's a lot of people who like to act holier than thou because they're a good Monopoly player. That's not an indication that you're a good person just because you're a good Monopoly player.
And it's not any indication that you are a successful person.
Exactly. It's good if you can figure it out, but it's hard. Me and my husband, obviously we're not homeless. We have a home. But I would never stand here and say that owning a home and trying to take care of yourself, they've made it almost impossible. The list of frustrations that people run into, I can't even, I've been there. I'm right there. We're right there with you guys, okay? We're barely making it. We're living paycheck to paycheck. We're deeply in debt. We have all of those things. We were on welfare for years after my husband was blacklisted from Nike, and we were still helping people get in off the streets. So it's just sick to me that, we're not even allowed to make any suggestions because we can't even, people aren't even allowed to even really get to know who we are because nobody is invited to the table. We're just under the tyranny of, crackhead Ted Wheeler, you know what I'm saying, and company. I watched a man testify in front of Ted Wheeler and Amanda Fritz about doing outreach to gang members, and then he was saying to them straight to their face, I bring all these gang members and you take them into a room full of pedophiles. No, thank you. It's not okay. So we have so much work to do. Me and my husband, we're not just out here fighting for our daughter. We are fighting for a better world. This world is falling apart, and people are being pushed out of it by these sick people like the likes of Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. All these people, you guys, look at their bank account. If the bank account is obscene, then the person probably looks like Gollum. Okay, what I'm saying? They might be wearing a human costume, but they're not actually a person anymore because it makes you very sick to do that.
These people have probably made deals with the devil, folks.
Well, you have to ink a deal with the devil to get fame and fortune because the devil owns everything.
Here,
he really does. And we're having a very difficult time turning that around. Somebody actually on Twitter the other day was just posting that, the Willamette Week, that used to be like a paper that would cover something like this. Oh, no. Richard Meeker is the owner of the Willamette Week, and he's married to Ellen Rosenblum. Ellen Rosenblum is our Attorney General, but she's also involved in the cover-up of the abuse of Qadira. She was sitting She was sitting on the appellate court when we tried to appeal the case before we really understood what was going on. And she just awarded the pedophiles money and threw it out. She was part of that group. I mean, there's a long list of people involved because Portland is literally a sanctuary city for pedophiles. So the only way we solve that is by talking about it and by recognizing it and by acknowledging it. So that's what me and my husband are trying to get done. The sex trafficking industry on planet Earth today is $150 billion industry. So the police are protecting this. And I'm not trying to get down on the police. I don't want to see any violence towards the police. Me and my husband are pacifists. We don't believe violence is the way. I understand that these people are trying to feed their families, but they also have to understand that they're working for very, very, very evil people, and they need to keep that in mind. You know, I mean, I don't know how you walk that line. I realize some people are stuck walking it because they literally are just trying to feed their family. I get it. But also, you have to start acknowledging that we need to start doing something about this because we can't clean up anything. We can't actually start arresting criminals or punishing people or even rehabilitating people until the system is working appropriately. I think a lot of the people that end up in jail a lot of them are probably just innocent. You know, they're just innocent victims of this rotting spiritual decay that we have going on, you know, in our entire system. It's just rot. It's filth. And so I hope people really start thinking about that because we have something here, Portland, and we have a chance, I think, right now to start turning the national conversation around. But I'm going to need, you know, we're going to need everybody's help. Me and my husband, we're going to need everybody's help. And I think it's awesome that we have done this together for 119 weeks and there's been no violence. I think that Portland deserves a round of applause for that. Every single community here, because we're getting it done. And we're going to keep working on it. We are committed to being out here, and we will continue to get out here.
Folks, and we don't care what the police do to us. They can do whatever they want. That's what they do anyway. It would be nice if they grew a conscience and stopped harassing us, but like my wife said, I understand they're just doing their job or what they think their job is. But unfortunately, right now, the job of the police is not to serve and protect people. It's to serve and protect money. And that's a big problem in our society. And if we don't start changing the conversation, it's never going to change.
And we do need people, you know, in these high-rises and in our public institutions to start washing their hearts, start acknowledging what they're involved in, and we need them to make a personal decision to stop building hell. Because that's what we have here. And I want everybody to think long and hard about this. If you're going to come right back to planet Earth after you die...
And you probably will.
And you probably will.
There's a revolving door here because we are not spiritually maturing.
So if you come back to planet Earth, you know, the entry point, that's the real lottery. And then even if you do get in, well, God knows how that's going to go because we're not doing a very good job of caring for everybody. And one of the things is we've made, you know, reasonable goals unattainable. There's no reason why people today can't have a family and a home and not have to work all the time, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. I mean, why have we made things this way? Well, it's this way because we worship the rich people. People are worshiping them. I mean, I can tweet all day and I won't get a single like. Elon Musk puts out a tweet and everybody's running over there to get his attention. You know, and what is he tweeting about? Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Garbage, just stuff to keep you off distracted.
These rich people, they need an inordinate amount of attention. It's just exhausting even trying to deal with them at all because this is not their planet to just steal, but that's what they think because they steal all the time. I mean, they literally have their cocaine straws in everybody's back pocket right now. They just suck up the funds and then use it to divide people. And that is not how the money is supposed to work. The money is supposed to be spent. That's why really the middle class individual, that is the ideal. Everybody should be able to get there. There's no reason that this isn't happening, except for the fact that, people are reaching for something. We've made that out of reach. We're shrinking the middle class, and then everybody's worshiping this other lifestyle.
That is unattainable.
That's ridiculous.
Folks, the money is supposed to be spent on taking care of people.
Exactly.
Taking care of life. And if we're not going to be doing that, then we need to cancel the whole money thing and come up with a new system that actually cares about people.
Or get people using it the right way. I mean, there should never be piles and piles shoved somewhere that's never being used. It creates a massive bottleneck that literally leads to all this poverty because these people aren't, they're not doing what they're supposed to do with it.
Yeah, especially when there are people starving and dying in the streets, literally. Okay? There's plenty enough resources on this planet to take care of the people that are currently living here, probably about 3 times over. It's getting all locked up by these very greedy people who we are allowing to be in these positions where they are being worshipped.
I want to tell a quick story, too, before we shut it down. When my son got his first job, my oldest son, he got his first check. I'll never forget. And he came home, and he came running to me with it, and he said, Mom, he's like, I can't believe it. The government stole from me. So that was his first experience, with taxes. He didn't understand, why the government took taxes out of his check. And I'm trying to explain to him it's to take care of all of this. But when the place looks like shit,
where's the money going,
where's
folks?
the money going? I would rather people keep their money and give it to the things that they think are appropriate and just have an understanding that you're not supposed to be piling money away and acting like a weirdo. I mean, you have to understand these elites, they're sick. They're sick. Okay, if you're living in a middle class neighborhood and you're doing okay, that's where we need to be. That's reasonable. And we need to start ignoring these people. See how me and my husband are ignored? We need to start ignoring the billionaires because they're attention whores. That's why they're all over our TV screens all days with their bad ideas. Okay, screwing up the world. We can turn away from that, and we need to start.
Folks, we're going to shut it down, but we'll be back here next week, okay?
And like I said, every week I will be calling for the pedophiles to take themselves to jail, please. I was hoping J.W. Matt Hennessy would start, and he can lead them all to jail. So I'm hoping he steps up to the plate there because there'll be no redemption for him otherwise. I'm just going to let you know it's not okay. Okay? It's not okay. And it's not going to be okay until you take responsibility for your behavior. And I'm telling that to all our public officials. The way people are being treated here, they deserve a lot better. And all of you do. We all do. This is not how the life experience is supposed to be going. And it's time for us to take back our value. So we're going to end with our mantra because this is something that's really helped me and my husband. We label ourselves as the value every day because that is the message we're trying to communicate to other people, that they are also the value. People don't like to join us in this exercise. I don't know why. We used to try to sell these shirts. We gave up. People don't want them, and that's okay. But I'm telling you right now, you need to reclaim your value. So let's say it together.
Folks, right before we get into the affirmation, I just want to explain to you that your rights, your rights don't exist on a piece of paper. Your rights exist right there in your person.
That's right.
Okay? You are a free will, sovereign being, okay? With built-in authority. Like I said, these institutions, they are using your authority against you.
Absolutely.
You need to reclaim your authority. That doesn't happen on paper. That happens right here, right in your heart, right in your mind, in your soul, and with each other.
Y'all need to shut the fuck up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
We need to be quiet
We
because people enjoy their hellhole.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
It's interesting.
If you're upset, come on. We invite you. Come on. Okay?
People-
express your frustration.
We get this
Do
a lot.
that.
We get this a lot in the village because people don't want to reclaim their value because it's a responsibility to take care of yourself. And what the government's been doing is treating you like children. They treat us all like children. We never get to grow up. In fact, we have more rules and laws after we turn 18 than we do have under our parents. Because I guess we're all just out of control and we just don't know how to behave.
But folks,
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And I do believe that the person that just came up here needs some care and attention. And I'm sorry they're not getting it. And I hope to change that in the future. So let's end with our affirmation.
We're going to end with our affirmation. It's important that you understand this. Get to know it, embrace it, wear it on yourself. Okay?
Right.
Because this is what we all need to understand. I am the value.
I am the value.
You are the value.
You are the value.
We are the value.
We are the value.
We're not talking about money. We're not talking about gold or silver. We're not talking about digital currency. We are talking about you, your very life. That is what actually matters. That is the only thing that actually matters. So say it with us if you can.
I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. Okay, you guys, I want everybody this week, think about it. And we'll be back next week for week 20. We are here to stay. We're going to get this place cleaned up. And thank you, everybody, for being out here today. You truly, truly, truly are the value. And I'm going to play a song here to dedicate to everybody who's been listening to these rallies because I really just appreciate your existence and you being here and just showing up, even if you're angry. Really, thank you for being here. I am grateful for you. God bless.
You guys just fired me up. I hope you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You too.
What's your name?
My name is Brendan.
Brendan?
Nice
to meet you. You're awesome.
Thank you. You
Thank
guys are
you.
awesome.
Thank
This is my
you.
first day in Portland too. I have no idea what to expect here besides what the news says. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to go actually see what it's like.
You found something good.
Yeah, right. I'm like, okay, some actual,
Yes.
some actual people.
Yes.
Awesome message, you guys. Really is.
Thank you.
Here's to all the late night drunk phone calls that you picked up.